Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be continuing What If Naruto Had Asta's Demon and the Nine Tails. But before we get into all of that, I would just like to point out the fact that I literally forgot about this series. If it wasn't for the guy that commented on the last video, I probably would have never made another version of this series. I promise you. I literally forgot about it. But thanks to him, I remembered it, which was a good thing because I actually liked the series. I just forgot about it, like I said earlier. So to show this series some appreciation, or if y'all wanted to continue, leave a like on the video. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So as Naruto and Killer Bee jumps off in opposite directions, the Eight Tails talking to Killer Bee asks him, like, what exactly does he think Naruto has planned? And as right before Killer Bee could respond, he looks over and he sees this new form, of power type. The form that Naruto is currently in is okay, so basically, if you're new to the series, you gotta go back and watch the old parts. But his maxed out power is the only form he could use, and it's better than what it was beforehand. So it doesn't give him a speed debuff. It doesn't debuff his speed or whatever. It doesn't subtract away from his speed. It increases, in fact, it increases his speed, strength, durability, all that. So, if Killer Bee looks over, he sees this fully powered up Naruto, and Naruto looks over at him and he's like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I need that. And he grabs Killer Bee, just full blown grabs him clean out the trees, and Killer Bee pushes, jumps away from him and is confused, but asks Naruto, why is he doing this? And Naruto's like, I thought I made it abundantly clear that the world was my enemy and you're a part of the world. So if I wish to take over or control, I need to get rid of anyone that has information on me. And sadly enough, that's you. So Killer Bee, knowing the severity of the situation, he immediately powers up to the max form of the Eight-Tail state, which alarms almost everybody within a 30-mile radius. So almost every shinobi within a 30-mile radius can sense Naruto. Well, not Naruto, but Killer Bee. So the Cloud sends some shinobi out there to go see what's going on. And when the shinobi get there, they see Killer Bee just laid out on the floor, and this weird black figure with black tails and stuff behind him. And he looks up at the shinobi. He grabs Killer Bee and drags him into the woods. And everybody can clearly still sense Killer Bee. He's not dead, but he's incapacitated, which was confusing to most because he's a tailed beast, and whatever the hell that thing is clearly is not. So when Naruto meets back up with Konan and Sasuke notices that Naruto brought a friend with him. So he asks Naruto about this so-called friend of his, and Naruto tells him that this is going to be the tailed beast that gets instilled inside of you. And this confuses Sasuke because he definitely he doesn't want the tailed beast sealed inside of him, but the power that he would gain from getting the tailed beast sealed inside of him would be insane. But the only problem is that Naruto and Sasuke or Konan, they don't know the sealing jutsus or the techniques, and they don't know for sure if the Eight Tails is going to be willing, given the fact that Naruto just beat Killer Bee into submission. So so as they're all contemplating this, Killer Bee wakes up and he tells Naruto that this doesn't have to go down this way. And he's like, what do you mean by that? And Killer Bee goes to tell him that if he steals all the tailed beasts, he's going to become a fugitive. And Naruto laughs and was like, I already am one of those. And Killer Bee was like, no, you're going to become worse. They're going to be looking for you constantly because now you have power that can destroy entire villages. There's nothing that they won't do to try to stop you. And Naruto looks at him and gets real close and in his face. And he's like, what makes you think I'm not prepared for this? And this kind of like disturbs Killer Bee because Naruto is so calm, but like that form that he was in showed like it looked like it displayed nothing but anger. So Killer Bee tries to like convince Naruto not to do this, and Naruto gets angry and was like, you know what? The Eight Tails will come back in a few years. He pulls out this big sword, his big sword, and right before A could jump between Naruto and Killer Bee, Naruto jams the big sword through Killer Bee's chest. And Naruto tells Killer Bee right before, you know, he actually dies that maybe if he would have just been quiet and listened, or better yet, just stayed unconscious, he wouldn't have had to die. And like as like Naruto says that, Killer Bee like falls to the ground. A comes down out the tree, and Sasuke jumps in the way of A coming down from the tree, so he blocks A's punch with his sword. But since A was in his lightning cloak state, it pushes Sasuke almost completely out the way, kind of. So like, yeah, that's like trying to jump in front of a truck. Fuck that. Sasuke gets pushed out the way. So Naruto, noticing that Sasuke stops A but got pushed out the way, he makes a mental note that Sasuke still has work to do, because although Sasuke has good reflexes, he's not stronger than a full-grown man. I don't care what anyone tells me. You can fight me in the comments over that. Sasuke and Naruto, although they were strong, they were not stronger than the full-grown men. If A and Sasuke fought, I'm not gonna cap with you, that would be a fight to see, but I'd be damned if people gonna tell me Sasuke sweeps that man without question. Sasuke as a 16-year-old will get beat up by A. I'm not even gonna cap with you. That's my personal opinion, because I don't believe that Sasuke has the durability to survive one of his punches, although he doesn't hit like Tsunade or Sakura. But that's neither here or there. Let's get back into the video. So Naruto makes his mental note, and as they're as he's thinking about it, Conan taps him on the shoulder and was like, maybe we shouldn't be, maybe you shouldn't be deep in thought if we're under attack. And Naruto looks back up and A's charging at him again, but this time A connects. But when the dust cloud dissipates, because A is just enraged, she's not thinking rationally. So when the cloud cover dissipates, we see Naruto holding A's hand and just palming his hand, not palming it, but stopping it basically. So he he jumps back, and looking at Naruto, he sees that he stopped it with the demon arm, to be more specific. So yeah, Naruto asks him, what does he plan on doing with just him? And A tells him that he's going to do something that the Leaf Village couldn't, which pisses Naruto off on a personal level, because now he's talking about his village that he's gonna go take over. And Naruto, as he's standing there, he asks A, is this something that he really wants to do? Is he willing to throw his life away for a Jinchuriki? And A, because they're further back away from each other now, A tells him that he was willing to do anything for B, even if that means dying here and now, trying to avenge him. B was more than just a Jinchuriki to A, as he's stating. B was his brother, family to him, in fact. And he would have done anything to make sure that B stayed alive. But now since B's dead, there's no reason for him to stay rational. So he's going to do everything in his power to kill Naruto. And as he says this, Naruto in this form, his grin gets bigger. And it kind of creeps out Sasuke. Because that's something, after what A said, Naruto shouldn't have been smiling, because what he said was pretty sad. So A looks at him, getting more angry, and is asking him what's so funny. And Naruto was like, nothing. I just find it funny how you all think I'm supposed to care about your sob stories and how you feel when you all barely cared about mine. And A tells Naruto that, he's been preparing for this kind of. And Naruto, interested, he doesn't move. He's waiting to see what A wants, to see what A does, to see what A does. Damn, I couldn't say that word. So, as they're standing there, Sasuke gets a little frustrated and he tries to throw a fireball at A. A jumps out the way. Naruto turns to not to A, but to Sasuke, and tells him that he should sit out for this one. And A finally gathers up enough chakra to go into his second version of his lightning cloak. So, it's like actual armor, basically. So it's like if you would, I don't know, yeah. I'm just gonna say it's more lightning around it. I'm just let y'all go, and I don't really care anymore. Yeah. So as he charges up to the second level of power that he was training to master, Naruto, interested, he asks him what's this called, and A tells him that he doesn't necessarily have a name for it, but since he's about to die here, referring as into Naruto, since Naruto is about to die here, he figures the least that he can do is show him his full power. And Naruto was like, yeesh, this is your full power? Thought you had a little bit more in you. And as Naruto says this, A's smile kind of turns to this frightened look, as he can sense chakra. He can sense Nine Tails chakra. He can sense somewhat, I'm gonna say you can somewhat sense Lide's presence. You can sense the intent coming off of Naruto from Lide. So this massive intent to kill just starts oozing out of Naruto, and A's rage-induced power seems like nothing compared to just the pure amount of anger and rage that is bottled up inside Naruto. Now, although that might not make sense, you just gotta give me a minute. So Naruto tells him that, even if you reach this new form of power, my emotions outscale you. My mere hatred for you as of right now burns brighter than your power itself. And you think you could beat me? And A charges in, and Naruto completely disappears from A's vision. And he, when A turns around, Naruto's right behind him, and he's like, let's stop and think about this for a moment. Let's not do anything rash. Do you really think that this is something that you can do on your own? You didn't bring no other backup? And as he says that, as he's talking to A is frantically trying to hit him as Naruto is just disappearing and reappearing and disappearing and reappearing. So like the one time that A actually tries to say something, Naruto takes out one of his swords because he was going to tell Naruto that maybe he should just shut up and actually try to attack him. But right before he could even say anything, Naruto takes out his katana and shoves it clean into the stomach of A. But since he shoved it into A's stomach, A knows that now, even if he does die, he might just be able to hit Naruto and kill him if he uses all of his chakra in his fists. So he starts channeling the chakra in his fist, and right before Naruto could pull the blade out, A hits Naruto, hits him, and this massive crater is formed. And when the dust clears, Naruto is on his knees. A is dead due to the fact that Naruto was already draining his chakra, and he just used more chakra to hit Naruto. Naruto stands up and he dusts himself off. And Sasuke is in complete and utter horror at the fact that this is something that Naruto just does on the daily now. Or he makes it seem like he does this on the daily. But as Sasuke is looking at Naruto, when Naruto powers down, he sees that Naruto's Rinnegan is slit, and it's weird because it's not turning back like to the normal Rinnegan. It never has. So this raises a lot of questions. So Sasuke asks Naruto why is his Rinnegan slit, and Naruto, he's like, honestly, at this point, I just think it's for like the way it looks, because it doesn't do anything. It's still the same type of Rinnegan. If not, it's probably just a little bit better when it comes to sensory, due to the fact that it's infused with Nine-Tails chakra, and the Nine-Tails could probably sense things from halfway across the world. So, if we let him. So, Naruto, like, telling this to Sasuke was like, maybe I should have took the 8 tails. And Conan tells Sasuke that he dodged a bullet because the 8 tails is one of the most disobedient tailed beasts out there. In fact, most of the 8 tails Jinchurikis died, if she's not mistaken. That's also for me too. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe that most of the 8 tails Jinchurikis did die. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. So Sasuke tells Naruto that you were willing to give me a tailed beast that could have killed me or tried to take control. And Naruto was like, let's be honest, you have a Rinnegan, a Sharingan, an eternal Mangekyo. And I'm right here. What is he gonna do? You could have just took the tailed beast and we could have just been strong. So Conan was like, anyway, now that that's all done and over with, we should leave before someone else gets here. So Naruto and Naruto and Sasuke and Conan dip out. And as they're leaving, like, the rest of the shinobi that were with that A left, because, that was supposed to be going to help A get B back. When they get there, they see that B's dead and so is A. So they immediately rush back to their village to let the other people know, so somebody else could become their Kage, well, their Raikage, but they will bring back their bodies out of respect for them. And as they're burying them, they get word that Naruto took over the Leaf Village. And the Cloud Village now hates Naruto because they kind of figured out who it was, because the only person that could drain someone completely of chakra is Naruto. That fast, because technically speaking, if you just get stabbed in the gut and you somehow die right off the bat, they got to hit you in a vital organ, and even then it's still going to take time for you to die. So they just kind of deduced that it was Naruto and his little group of people, because Naruto's the only person that could stab you one time and take almost every bit of your chakra from you and leave you with legit just enough to barely cling on to life. But it seems like A used the last bit of his chakra to hit Naruto. As they see where A died, they saw the crater, and what it looked like was someone's foot and their knee, like their shin, kind of implanted in the ground, because Naruto was brought to his knees. And this infuriates them once they figure out what Naruto is doing. So like they start trying to amass the army to like fight the Leaf Village, because at least now they can fight it knowing that in the end they'll be able to kill Naruto, because that was the person who killed A. So as they're amassing their army, Naruto himself appear on their walls. And this is where I'm gonna end this part off. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. Anyway, this has been Shinobi. Peace.